Ladies and gentlemen, listen closely because in the next few moments I'm going to share a truth that can shift the entire direction of your life. Every dream you've ever had, every breakthrough you've ever longed for, every ounce of success you've imagined is already waiting for you. But the only thing standing between you and that reality is your focus. What you choose to lock your mind on, the universe will expand. Focus on fear and you'll find more fear. Focus on possibility and doors you never even knew existed will begin to swing wide open. Today, you'll discover how to take control of that focus and unleash a power that can make the impossible inevitable. And imagine for a moment that your mind is like a giant magnifying glass. Wherever you point it, whatever you hold it over, it expands. It doesn't matter if you're focusing on opportunity or obstacle, possibility or problem. Your focus will determine what grows in your life. Life isn't about what happens to you. It's about where you place your attention. Because the truth is simple. What you focus on, the universe will provide. Energy flows where attention goes. If you lock your mind on scarcity, on fear, on lack, you will notice more scarcity everywhere you turn. If you lock it on growth, on gratitude, on abundance, you will suddenly find the doors of possibility flinging open in front of you. And most people drift through life with their focus being controlled by circumstance. The economy changes, their focus shifts to fear. A relationship falters, their focus shifts to pain. They wake up tired, their focus is on what they don't want to do. But the few who rise above, the people you admire, the ones who live extraordinary lives, they've learned the art of controlling focus. They've trained themselves to look at what they want, not what they fear. They've mastered the discipline of vision. And when you do that talk, the universe responds, almost as if it's been waiting for you to make a decision. And think about the times in your life when you wanted something so badly that it consumed you. Maybe it was a dream job, a relationship, a fitness goal, a new home. You didn't just think about it once. You lived in it in your mind. You saw yourself in that future. You felt it. You imagined it so vividly that it became real long before it happened. And what happened? People showed up. Opportunities appeared. The right idea struck at the right moment. Was it luck or was it the power of focus aligning the universe to deliver what you demanded of it? And the universe is like a mirror. It doesn't give you what you casually wish for. It reflects back what you consistently focus on with energy and emotion. If you focus on problems, you'll attract more problems. If you focus on solutions, you'll attract breakthroughs. If you focus on what you don't want, you'll keep reinforcing it. If you focus on what you do want with intensity, you'll begin to notice resources, connections, and chances you didn't see before. It's not magic, it's awareness, it's alignment. It's training your brain to filter reality so that you become a magnet for what matters most to you. And there are two invisible forces shaping every moment of your life, your state and your story. Your state is your emotional fuel, and your story is the narrative you keep telling yourself. If your story is, life is hard, people can't be trusted, nothing works out for me, then no matter how much potential you have, your focus will keep finding evidence of that story. But if your story is, I'm resourceful, I'm resilient, life is abundant, opportunities are everywhere, your focus will scan the world differently. You'll notice the chances to grow, to connect, to move forward. That story will cause you to act differently, to feel differently, and to attract a different reality. The universe isn't withholding from you. It's responding to the signals you're broadcasting through your focus. And when you shift your focus, you shift your life. Focus is the steering wheel of destiny. Whatever you look for, you'll find. If you look for reasons why you can't succeed, your brain will give you plenty. If you look for reasons why you can, it will flood you with possibilities. The question is, what do you want the universe to provide? Because it's already listening, it's already delivering. The only variable is you. Are you sending signals of faith or fear, of purpose or paralysis, of creation or complaint? And picture someone training for a marathon. They don't wake up and say, I hope I can run 26 miles someday. They visualize the finish line. They imagine the crowd, the medal, the moment of triumph. They feel it before it happens. Their focus creates a gravitational pull that drags their body, their habits, their choices toward that outcome. The same is true in business, relationships, and personal growth. The universe doesn't respond to half-hearted wishes. It responds to clear, consistent focus backed by emotion and action. And some people will argue, but I focus on success and I still fail. That's because focus isn't a one-time event. It's a practice. It's a discipline. The universe doesn't respond to occasional daydreams. It responds to relentless clarity. When you focus long enough, when you live in that vision daily, your brain starts spotting patterns. Your energy starts attracting allies. Your courage starts creating momentum. You stop waiting for things to happen, and start stepping into them. And that's when the universe steps in to meet you halfway. And ask yourself, what am I really focusing on each day? Be brutally honest. Are you using on what you fear or on what excites you? Are you focusing on problems or on the solutions waiting to be found? Are you focusing on what's missing or on what's already in your hands? Because wherever your focus goes, your energy follows. And wherever your energy flows, results grow. Focus is the master key. If you're not getting what you want, it's not because the universe is against you. It's because you haven't directed your focus with enough clarity, consistency, and certainty. And you can decide today to shift it. You can choose to live in a state of gratitude for what you already have while relentlessly focusing on what you want to create. Gratitude multiplies blessings. Focus multiplies outcomes. When you combine the two, the universe has no choice but to open doors. You become unstoppable. You start noticing the right people, the right opportunities, the right timing, and you realize they were always there. You just couldn't see them when your focus was trapped in fear. And imagine walking into a dark room. If you shine a flashlight on the corner full of clutter, that's all you'll notice. If you point it toward the doorway, suddenly you see the exit. Focus works the same way. The room is the same. The possibilities are the same. The only difference is where you shine your light. That's why the most successful people aren't necessarily the most talented, the most educated, or the most connected. They are the most focused. They decide what they want, they live inside that vision every single day, and they refuse to let distractions steal their energy. And the universe is not random. It responds to intention. When your focus is sharp and your energy is aligned, the world rearranges itself in ways you couldn't have planned. That meeting you accidentally walked into, that person you just happened to meet, that idea that popped into your head in the show, or none of it is random. It's your focus pulling reality toward your vision. You are a creator, whether you realize it or not. Every thought, every belief, every moment of focus is a request to the universe. And the universe always delivers. The only question is, are you asking for what you really want or for what you're trying to avoid? And when you begin to understand that focus is not just about thought, but about emotion, you start to realize why so many people struggle. It's not enough to say, I want success, while secretly feeling doubt, fear, or unworthiness. The universe doesn't respond to empty words. It responds to the vibration you hold when you think them. If your words say one thing, but your emotions scream another, your focus is scattered. But when your words, emotions, and beliefs are aligned, there is nothing more powerful. That is when you step into true congruence, and that is when the universe responds with undeniable clarity. And think about it. Every single day you are conditioning your mind. Every thought you repeat is like a seed planted in fertile soil. Most people plant weeds. They think about stress, failure, rejection, lack. They water those weeds with fear, and then they wonder why their life feels overgrown with problems. But those who understand the power of focus deliberately plant seeds of possibility. They water them with faith, with persistence, with action. And over time, they harvest a life that others call lucky, when in reality, it's not luck at all. It's alignment, consistency, and unwavering focus. And focus is also about physiology. When you stand tall, breathe deeply, and command your body into a peak state, your focus sharpens. Your energy heightens. You feel alive. Compare that to slumping your shoulders, breathing shallow, and telling yourself how tired you are. The body drives the mind, and the mind drives the body. When you take control of one, you instantly elevate the other. That's why athletes visualize victory while training. That's why leaders prime themselves before stepping into big moments. They don't wait for focus to arrive. They create it. And because they create it, the universe responds to that certainty. And there's something magnetic about a person who knows what they want. You've felt it before. You've met people who radiate clarity, people who walk into a room and immediately command attention, not because they're louder or more charismatic, but because their focus is so pure, so unwavering, that it influences the energy of everyone around them. That level of focus is rare, but it's available to anyone who decides that their vision matters more than their excuses. And every distraction in your life is a test. Every temptation to complain, to scroll endlessly, to focus on what you can't control is the universe asking, do you really want this? Are you willing to focus on what matters, even when it's uncomfortable? And when you say yes with your actions, not just your words, that's when momentum builds. That's when doors open that you never even knew existed. And focus is a decision, but it's also a habit. You don't need to wait for motivation to strike. You build focus by training your mind daily. Just like a muscle, focus grows with use. Start small. Ask yourself every morning, what's one thing I can do today to move closer to what I want? That simple question pulls your attention back to creation instead of reaction. And when you string together enough days of intentional focus, you look back and realize you've built a life you once only dreamed about. But let's be real, focus isn't always easy. The world is loud. Distractions are everywhere. People will project their fears onto you. They'll try to convince you to focus on what's safe, on what's realistic, on what they believe is possible. But remember this, their focus has created their reality, not yours. If you want a different outcome, you must guard your focus like your most precious resource, because it is. Energy is finite. Time is finite. If you give your focus to things that drain you, you're robbing yourself of the power to create what you desire. And so how do you guard it? By becoming intentional with what you allow into your mind, by surrounding yourself with people who lift your vision instead of shrinking it, by feeding your mind with ideas, stories, and strategies that fuel your belief, by limiting the noise and amplifying the signal. When you do this, your focus sharpens to a laser, and a laser cuts through steel. That's the difference between scattered energy and focused energy. One creates confusion, the other creates miracles. And the universe is always reflecting back to you who you are being. If you focus on being a victim, you'll get evidence that life is unfair. If you focus on being a creator, you'll get evidence that life bends to your will. The circumstances may be the same, but the experience is radically different. Two people can live through the same storm. One sees destruction, the other sees an opportunity to rebuild stronger. What changed? Focus. And when focus changes, the universe shifts to match it. And it's not just about what you want, it's about why you want it. The deeper the why, the stronger the focus. If your reason is shallow, your focus will break the moment life tests you. But when your reason is tied to your identity, to your loved ones, to your vision of the future, then your focus becomes unshakable. The universe doesn't respond to half-hearted desire, it responds to burning commitment. And commitment is born from a powerful why. And ask yourself, what's one thing in your life that if it changed, would change everything? What's the vision that excites you so much it keeps you up at night? What outcome feels impossible, yet irresistibly magnetic? That's the thing to focus on. That's the thing that will pull you forward even when obstacles show up. And when you give that vision your consistent focus, the universe will reorganize itself around it. And people often underestimate how quickly life can change when focus aligns. One decision, one conversation, one bold action can create a ripple that alters your entire future. But those moments don't come to people who scatter their focus across hundreds of distractions. They come to those who are crystal clear, who know what they want, and who hold that vision until it materializes. And focus also requires faith. Faith that even when you can't see the evidence, something is happening behind the scenes. The seed doesn't sprout the day it's planted. It needs time in the soil. But just because you don't see progress doesn't mean it isn't happening. The roots are forming, the foundation is strengthening, and when the time is right, the growth will be visible. Most people quit watering their dream too soon because they lose focus when they don't see immediate results. But those who keep going, who maintain focus when it feels pointless, are the ones who reap the harvest the universe was preparing all along. And you can choose right now to become the kind of person whose focus demands results. You can stop scattering your attention across things that don't matter and pour it into the one thing that does. And when you do, you'll feel a shift. The world will look different. Opportunities that were invisible will suddenly stand out. People who resonate with your vision will find their way to you. Ideas will strike at the perfect time. It won't be coincidence. It will be the power of focus reshaping your reality. And then the beauty is you don't have to wait for the perfect moment to start. You can begin today, right now, by deciding what you truly want and choosing to focus on it with all your heart, all your energy, all your belief. Because when you do, the universe will respond. And when you reach the point where focus becomes second nature, life begins to unfold in ways that defy explanation. You no longer question whether the universe is on your side because you see the evidence everywhere. The right call comes at the right time. The right door opens when you're ready to walk through it. And the right people arrive when you need them most. What others see as coincidence, you recognize as alignment. That's the power of living with directed focus. You stop chasing and start attracting, and in that shift, the universe bends toward your vision. But make no mistake, this isn't passive. Focus is not about sitting back and wishing for things to fall into your lap. It's about clarity of vision combined with relentless action. The universe responds to movement, to energy, to momentum. When you decide to focus on abundance, you must also act in alignment with abundance. When you focus on growth, you must take steps that embody growth. Focus without action is fantasy. Action without focus is chaos. When you marry the two, you become unstoppable. And consider how many people set resolutions or goals at the beginning of the year. They start with excitement, but by February, their focus has dissolved. Life distracted them, challenges discouraged them, and the universe seemed silent. But the truth is, the universe wasn't silent. They simply stopped broadcasting the right signal. They stopped sending clarity and instead sent confusion, hesitation, or doubt. That's why sustained focus matters. It's not about intensity for a week. It's about consistency for a lifetime. And your mind is constantly filtering the world through what psychologists call the reticular activating system. It's like the lens of your focus. When you buy a new car, suddenly you see that same model everywhere, even though it was always there before. That's your brain tuning itself to notice what you care about. Imagine what happens when you tune your brain to abundance, growth, gratitude, and opportunity. Unity. You start noticing possibilities that were invisible before. That's not chance. It's focus training your awareness to work for you. And when awareness shifts, so do results. And one of the greatest challenges you'll face is not external, it's internal. The battle is between your old focus and your new focus. Your old focus is tied to comfort, to habits, to the familiar. Your new focus is tied to growth, to courage, to the unknown. The universe wants to give you what you ask for, but you must prove through your focus that you're ready for it. Every time you choose courage over fear, persistence over quitting, faith over doubt, you're telling the universe, I am ready. And in response, life delivers the next step. And imagine a sculptor standing before a massive block of marble. To the untrained eye, it's just a stone. But in the sculptor's mind, the masterpiece already exists. Every strike of the chisel, every focused action is not about creating the masterpiece, but revealing it. Your life is the same. The masterpiece is already inside you waiting. The universe holds the tools, the opportunities, the resources, but it's your focus, the steady strikes of intention that brings the vision to life. Without focus, the marble remains a block. With focus, it becomes art. And focus also transforms pain. There is no life without struggle, but the meaning of struggle is determined by focus. If you focus on what you lost, pain becomes suffering. If you focus on what you gained, pain becomes fuel. Every challenge can either be a wall or a stepping stone. The difference is where you place your attention. The universe doesn't remove obstacles for you. It gives you obstacles to refine your focus, to test your commitment, to shape you into the person capable of holding the vision you asked for. And think about this. What you focus on doesn't just change your life. It changes the lives of everyone around you. Focus is contagious. If you focus on negativity, you pull others down with you. If you focus on possibility, you lift others higher. You no longer question whether the universe is on your side because you see the evidence everywhere. The right call comes at the right time. The right door opens when you're ready to walk through it, and the right people arrive when you need them most. What others see as coincidence, you recognize as alignment. That's the power of living with directed focus. You stop chasing and start attracting, and in that shift, the universe bends toward your vision. But make no mistake, this isn't passive. Focus is not about sitting back and wishing for things to fall into your lap. It's about clarity of vision combined with relentless action. The universe responds to movement, to energy, to momentum. When you decide to focus on abundance, you must also act in alignment with abundance. When you focus on growth, you must take steps that embody growth. Focus without action is fantasy. Action without focus is chaos. When you marry the two, you become unstoppable. And consider how many people set resolutions or goals at the beginning of the year. They start with excitement, but by February, their focus has dissolved. Life distracted them, challenges discouraged them, and the universe seemed silent. But the truth is, the universe wasn't silent. They simply stopped broadcasting the right signal. They stopped sending clarity and instead sent confusion, hesitation, or doubt. That's why sustained focus matters. It's not about intensity for a week. It's about consistency for a lifetime. And your mind is constantly filtering the world through what psychologists call the reticular activating system. It's like the lens of your focus. When you buy a new car, suddenly you see that same model everywhere, even though it was always there before. That's your brain tuning itself to notice what you care about. Imagine what happens when you tune your brain to abundance, growth, gratitude, and opportunity. Unity. You start noticing possibilities that were invisible before. That's not chance. It's focus training your awareness to work for you. And when awareness shifts, so do results. And one of the greatest challenges you'll face is not external, it's internal. The battle is between your old focus and your new focus. Your old focus is tied to comfort, to habits, to the familiar. Your new focus is tied to growth, to courage, to the unknown. The universe wants to give you what you ask for, but you must prove through your focus that you're ready for it. Every time you choose courage over fear, persistence over quitting, faith over doubt, you're telling the universe, I am ready. And in response, life delivers the next step. And imagine a sculptor standing before a massive block of marble. To the untrained eye, it's just a stone. But in the sculptor's mind, the masterpiece already exists. Every strike of the chisel, every focused action is not about creating the masterpiece, but revealing it. Your life is the same. The masterpiece is already inside you waiting. The universe holds the tools, the opportunities, the resources, but it's your focus, the steady strikes of intention that brings the vision to life. Without focus, the marble remains a block. With focus, it becomes art. And focus also transforms pain. There is no life without struggle, but the meaning of struggle is determined by focus. If you focus on what you lost, pain becomes suffering. If you focus on what you gained, pain becomes fuel. Every challenge can either be a wall or a stepping stone. The difference is where you place your attention. The universe doesn't remove obstacles for you. It gives you obstacles to refine your focus, to test your commitment, to shape you into the person capable of holding the vision you asked for. And think about this. What you focus on doesn't just change your life, it changes the lives of everyone around you. Focus is contagious. If you focus on negativity, you pull others down with you. If you focus on possibility, you lift others higher. When you walk into a room with certainty, energy, and vision, people feel it. They're inspired, empowered, and ignited by your example. That ripple effect is how families transform, how communities grow, how movements are born. One person with unwavering focus can change the trajectory of countless lives. And the universe responds to that kind of leadership. It recognizes when someone is not just focused for themselves, but focused on contributing to something bigger. When your vision extends beyond your own needs and becomes about service, impact, and legacy, the universe multiplies your opportunities. Why? Because you've proven that you can handle more. You've shown that your focus is strong enough not just to benefit you, but to benefit many. And with greater vision comes greater provision. And sometimes focus means letting go. You cannot hold on to everything. If your hands are full of fear, resentment, or old stories, there's no room for the blessings the universe is trying to hand you. By letting go of what drains your focus, you create space for what energizes it. This might mean stepping away from relationships that no longer align, habits that keep you small, or environments that stifle your growth. It may be uncomfortable, but every release creates room for new provision. And you've probably heard the phrase, seeing is believing. But the truth is, believing is seeing. You don't wait to see evidence before you focus, and then the evidence appears. The farmer doesn't see the harvest before planting. He plants because he believes in the unseen. The universe rewards that belief. It responds to that level of certainty. And if you can hold that focus when there's no proof, when there's only faith, you set yourself apart from the majority who quit too soon. And so many people live in a state of divided focus. They say they want success, but focus on fear. They say they want love, but focus on loneliness. They say they want health, but focus on sickness. And the universe, always obedient, provides exactly what they dwell on. The moment you align your focus with your true desire, without contradiction, is the moment momentum begins. That's when provision flows without resistance. And your focus is like a compass. It may not tell you every step, but it points you in the right direction. Trust it. Trust that as long as your focus is locked on the vision, the path will reveal itself piece by piece. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. Focus is what keeps you moving when the next step is all you can see. And over time, step by step, the staircase appears, leading you exactly where you were meant to go. And you are not here by accident. The dreams inside you, the visions that stir your heart, are not random. They are signals. They are whispers from the universe saying, this is yours if you will focus. This is yours if you will believe. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not distance, it's direction. And direction is controlled by focus. And every day is a chance to choose. Every thought is a seed. Every moment of focus is a vote for the future you desire. And with enough votes, the future is inevitable. The universe doesn't ask if you're worthy, it asks if you're focused. And when you answer with clarity, with belief, with relentless action, it provides. Always. And when you realize that focus is not just a tool, but the very fabric that shapes your reality, you begin to live differently. You start noticing how every small choice is either strengthening your focus or weakening it. Every thought is either a deposit into your future or a withdrawal from it. The universe doesn't discriminate, it simply mirrors. If you direct your attention toward fear, it reflects fear. If you direct it toward courage, it reflects courage. That means every single day you hold in your hands the steering wheel of destiny, and the question becomes, where are you pointing it? And the challenge is that most people don't even realize how much of their focus is stolen. They wake up, and the first thing they do is scroll through chaos, other people's opinions, problems, and negativity. Before their feet even hit the ground, they've surrendered their focus to things that have no bearing on their vision, and then they wonder why they feel drained, scattered, or stuck. But the ones who train their focus, who wake up and set their intention, who decide consciously what they will give their energy to, those are the ones who bend reality. They start the day as creators instead of reactors, and the universe responds accordingly. And focus has the power to transform not only how you see the world, but how the world sees you. A person with clear focus radiates certainty, and certainty is magnetic. People trust someone who knows where they are going. They are drawn to the energy of someone who has chosen a vision and refuses to be swayed. That kind of focus creates opportunities because people want to be around it, to contribute to it, to support it. The universe moves through people, and when your focus is sharp, it pulls the right allies into your orbit. But let's be clear, focus doesn't mean you won't face storms. It doesn't mean the path will always be smooth. What it does mean is that when the storm comes, your attention doesn't get hijacked by fear. You see the storm for what it is, a test, a teacher, a temporary condition, and you keep your eyes on the horizon. The storm passes, but your vision remains. That's what separates those who achieve from those who quit. The universe is not testing your ability to dream. It's testing your ability to stay focused when dreaming gets hard. And you've experienced this before, Then in small ways. Think about a time when you wanted something simple, like learning a new skill, improving your body, or saving money for something important. At first, the distractions came, excuses appeared. But the moment you locked your focus and decided that nothing would pull you off course, things began to shift. You learned faster, your discipline grew, you found ways around obstacles you thought were immovable. It wasn't luck, it was the power of sustained focus shaping your reality. And focus is a declaration to the universe. It says, this is who I am, this is what I choose, this is what I will create. And the universe, like an echo, responds in kind. That's why it's so important to guard not just what you focus on, but how deeply you focus. Shallow focus produces shallow results. Deep, consistent focus produces breakthroughs. When you pour your attention fully into something with intensity and persistence, the universe bends time. What might take someone else 10 years can come to you in one because you weren't dabbling, you were devoted. And it's not just about outcomes, it's about identity. Every time you focus on growth, on resilience, on gratitude, you're reinforcing the identity of someone who creates, someone who rises, someone who leads. That identity becomes stronger than the setbacks, louder than the doubts, greater than the fears. The universe isn't giving you things, it's shaping you into the kind of person who can hold them. Because what good is abundance if your focus is scattered? What good is success if your focus collapses under pressure? The provision matches the preparation, and focus is preparation. And ask yourself, what am I rehearsing in my mind? Because your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. If you constantly rehearse failure, rejection, disappointment, the universe thinks that's what you're asking for. But if you rehearse victory, joy, abundance, then even in the face of obstacles, your mind will push you toward that vision. Elite athletes do this all the time.